as the deep state. They have to do it because they're fighting for their lives. They know they've done so much evil.
Now I want to give you an important assignment that's very, very urgent. Especially those of you who understand matters of law, including you who are students of law. Go and look into all the laws that were enacted between 2020 and now in your country. Go and check, read through them, find those ones that restrict your liberty and that you find as obnoxious. Find them and then call for amendments. You are right now in a time in which you will be able to get the amendments, because many of those laws were sneaked upon the people. Many of the parliamentarians never read the full documents. There's some things hiding inside there that they plan to use against you in 2025.
The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others. Thank you, sir.
All right. So those are the prophecies that have been fulfilled. We've got so many of them, literally a whole catalogue of prophecies. But I look forward to tomorrow because there's something big there. So this is what the president of Loveworld Incorporated said. The Trump win has been celebrated world over. I can tell you this for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people in different parts of the world have celebrated it. It was a clear indication that the former administration had just done so many things that people were not for. It speaks to many things. You would realize that a lot of that, in fact, I hope I will put this very clearly. I get the sense that the way people were not really adhering to what the Biden administration or whatever that shadow government was trying to push clearly showed us that the world is predominantly Christian.
Proven, actually.
Predominantly Christian, even for those that don't even go to church, or maybe people that don't have even said the Lord's Prayer or whatever the case may be, or given the prayer of salvation. But in their hearts, they had the truth, the gospel truth, that it wasn't really right. Because one thing that our analyst said yesterday during the analysis,
Salif.
Yes, he said that there was the minority of the LGBTQ gang, which is literally a minority. But at some point, we thought that they were dominant, because all we were just being shown by this so-called mainstream media was just that. And it looked like they were a dominant group.
Come to think of it, even when you look at when the LGBTQ reared its ugly head in the Bible, documented by God, by the Spirit of God, it was just Sodom and Gomorrah. Just, you could say, two cities maybe. But if you look at the way they operate, they always tend to actually want to amplify themselves. Everybody was afraid to walk close by because you could be snatched like the angels that almost got snatched by them.
Yeah.
And in our time, it was not supposed to be, it was not going to be. I'm just thinking of, the proclamations that have actually been given, particularly by the president of Loveworld Incorporated. The church was going to get to maturity. And God was waiting for the church to mature so that we could do certain things. We could whip these devils. And you get to find out that that's exactly what we've done. I was just thinking of, something that he said today. In terms of the completion that is supposed to be done, the completeness that we're supposed to do in terms of preaching the gospel in 2025. And he said, this is the most opportune time for us to do that. And even if it was left to us, like just referring to Christ Embassy or Love World Nation itself, would do it. And you look at the terms that he used today, in addition to what it actually said during the global service. He said, we're counted worthy to do that. Just think about it. We are in that terminal generation that was counted worthy to go around with the gospel to the leaders of the nation, such that we have a Donald Trump that responds precisely the same way we responded in the spirit realm. He responds physically for the United States of America and for the rest of the world. And it's actually going to that, you know, when we say the LGBTQ is nothing, remember we said it is nothing. Even they themselves know that it is wrong for what they're actually doing. And come 2025, it was just like a switch. Overnight, they didn't have as much clout as they had. You didn't
And you
see
don't
them
even really hear much about them. They just literally went into the bank on their own.
Yep.
On their own, because they knew that a lot of people were against them. Now, when I said I would say that the world is predominantly Christian, I saw that you kind of like twitched a little. But the reason why I'm saying this is, first and foremost, there's something that Pastor said. It's not about him winning and being in the office, but it's about the time and the season of it.
And
Yeah.
the significance
And
of
the
it.
significance of it. I mean, if anybody heard that, you heard that. And I'm sure you understand what that means.
I wanted to pause it and play it back a little bit when he said that.
You can. When we get home, we'll do that, right? We'll do that when we get home. We'll listen to it and come back. But this is how I understood it. When he said that, I said to myself, okay, so the world is predominantly Christian in the sense that even prophetically, the Bible said, this gospel will be preached to the ends of the world.
Yes.
Because God's purpose is that as many of us see the kingdom of heaven.
Yes.
I remember Pastor preached and said, if it were possible, all of us, he would just want all of us to be, he doesn't want to leave anyone behind. Which means that the gospel is really spreading at a very fast pace.
It is.
This is the part where the mainstream media will not support us. They will not tell you this. So you have to hear it from Christian platforms.
And even
like this one.
Yes.
Even in
You
the
have to hear
past,
it from
right?
Christian platforms.
It has never been the predomination of mainstream media when it comes to telling the truth. When it comes to the church, they always want to underscore it. Remember, this is exactly what we're learning the last time Pastor Chris came with Your Love Word, when he was showing us that from Israel went missionaries who were Jewish to every nation. And he proved with Syria, with Iran, with Lebanon, with Jordan, modern Jordan, and including to Africa, because he proved exactly as it is documented by the prophets, exactly as it is actually documented in the New Testament.